Hello, everybody. This is the 24th episode of Magnum Opi, and we were just talking about something completely unrelated, but this stream is about the old man and the sea. Hello, how is everybody?
Oh, good.
Excellent, thank you very much.
And a warm welcome to everybody.
Indeed. It might be a wet welcome. Huh? See what I did there?
See.
I see. Yeah.
It sounds a bit fishy to me.
Indeed, son.
Hi, Dad. I'm Joke.
Yeah. Okay.
I actually said that to my son this morning. He said, "I'm hungry," and I said, "Hi, I'm Dad."
He must have looked really funny.
Always.
Yeah. So this week's reading was The Old Man and the Sea, and the author was Hemingway. If I do the homework. Have you read anything else by Hemingway?
Didn't he write the Communist Manifesto?
Yes, indeed.
No,
Yes
actually,
or no?
I haven't, but I hear he's a very, what do you call it? Capable writer.
Indeed. He won the Nobel Prize as well in literature for A Farewell to Arms and The Old Man and the Sea, which we read. So, yeah. And as far as I could make out, a lot of stories he wrote were autobiographical. He was a vivid hunter and fisherman, as you can see on this picture on the right side. And I mentioned he got a Nobel Prize in literature, and he self-ended himself with a double-barreled shotgun. So yeah,
An interesting character. Well,
indeed.
a little side note of that, he suffered from paranoia, and he thought the CIA was out to get him. And when he died, turns out it was true. They were keeping tabs on him because they thought he was a communist. They tapped his phones and everything.
Okay.
Make sure it made that clicky sounds every time you picked up and you heard extra click. Just to get paranoia going.
Yeah.
Or you open some door in your house and there's just people behind it you don't know, and there's a room you've never been.
I'm sure that will freak you out.
Yeah, well, the life of others, right?
I guess that's a movie I haven't watched it, so could not tell.
Oh, you heathen.
Yes, indeed.
Anyway, apparently Ernest Hemingway was a writer.
Mhm. Yeah.
I
You can
enjoyed
see
his
I was-
writing.
Yeah.
And I see I come well prepared for these streams. It's like,
Yeah.
I heard he wrote some books.
Mm-hmm. It's like we read one of his, but anyway. Yeah. Talk V, or how should I call it? V Talk. You suggested it. Would you like to make a summary of the book, or otherwise Freelance would do so if he would like, and otherwise it's me stumbling all over my words.
Okay. Summary. Old man has final hurrah and attempt at glory by catching such an incredibly large fish. Fails to do so, but isn't too fussed about it.
well, he did manage
Well, that's
to
not.
catch it.
That's yeah. He caught it.
Well, he
Fails to
technically
bring it
did
home.
caught it, but then when he brought it back, he got absolutely devoured by sharks. Spoiler alert.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I think it's okay to spoil it. It's been around a while.
Yeah.
And he has a fascination for John DiMaggio.
Yeah. What was he a baseball player, right? Or a famous one?
Yeah, he was a famous baseball player.
Before they let in the ethnics.
Oh, I thought he did the voice of Ben from Futurama.
That's John DiMaggio.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Ooh.
I only know about one baseball player. I think that's how you call him. Ruth Ginsburg. something like that.
What, Babe Ruth?
Yeah, exactly, Beirut. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's
From what
about
I
it.
understand, nobody really likes baseball, including anybody that watches it.
The Japanese like it.
Mhm.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, they play it, don't they? But if you get nuked into submission, you probably like a whole other stuff. Continuing on.
I'd say it's probably the perfect. It's probably the perfect game for a Japanese person.
Why? You
I'll
need
leave
a
Can't
shoulder
explain that.
strain.
I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, and there's lots of time for commercials, for commercial breaks, like in American Hand Egg, where they play for 5 seconds and there's a commercial break. And they will actually stop the play in the stadium for the commercial break on television. I'm feeling we're going on a tangent already. That's good.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
how about just the overall summary in one word would probably be stoic or endurance.
Okay. I would simply say old man. Yeah, he tries to catch something big because he hasn't, so he ventured out too far, and basically he catches something that is bigger than his abilities to protect, and he isn't prepared for it, so it basically fails. But everybody knows that he has caught something big, so it's kind of a miracle. But
Yeah, and that's the
it's
important
not-
thing, isn't it? It's people knowing that you did it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he was considered unlucky, and he probably still is in the end, because despite the fact that he managed to capture this big marlin, he failed to bring it home in one piece.
yeah,
I
that's-
think the fish metaphor and strapping it to your boat's quite a good metaphor. I like it.
Yeah, but in hunting, this is as well. It's all fine and game if you catch a big buck, but you have to carry the sucker back home. Or the same if you're in a military mission. It's nice and dandy to execute all your enemies in a ambush, but you still have to go home.
I thought you would say it's occupied territory, but then you have to guard it.
Yeah, well, yeah. If you occupy territory, you have to keep it. That's true as well. You cannot just go and leave like some powers, but whatever. Okay. Would anybody like to add something about the summary, or I guess?
I think that the conclusion of the story is that tourists are not the brightest people on the planet.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it could be one of these long-winded jokes you have from what's his name? He died recently, but was this comedian who would tell a joke, and you know this joke was too long, and then the punchline was like really stupid. So it's like that punchline here is that these tourists, they think that the skeleton that's left over is actually the skeleton of a shark, because they cannot completely understand what the other fisherman says. So.
Okay.
Anyway, on to the characters.
Yeah, I mean
Was
the
it good?
fat Americans or the ugly American is a third theme, I guess. But yeah,
It was a good fish.
That was a good fish.
onto the boy.
Yeah, this is the confusing part. So if you look at this in a what do you call it, and in the template of the hero cycle, then the boy is actually the old man, the guide, the person that puts the hero on his path, and basically helps him a bit. He brings him food. He motivates him somewhat to do stuff. So the boy is basically pushing the story along in the beginning, without actually going on to the adventure itself. He was assigned to the boat of the old man to learn the trade, but the old man is considered unlucky because he hadn't caught a fish in, 85 days? So his parents wanted to reassign him to a luckier boat, because everybody knows that luck is an intrinsic factor. So, as Napoleon said, give me lucky generals, not competent generals.
And also that the boy sees the old man as essentially like a family member, because the old man taught him how to fish, so giving that trade. So he's very intensely loyal to him.
Yeah, I guess there's something about the how you call it, apprentice master relationship. Somebody that teaches you stuff. You appreciate this really much, and it's something as well that sounds really groomy, but it's there is a thing that happens if old men and young boys work in the same space. It has a moderating effect on them, or it forces them to grow up.
Yeah.
They learn about responsibility.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because the old man could say, "Well, I'm not going to fish because I'm unlucky." The old man still goes to fish, despite the fact that all odds are against him.
And consequences.
And consequences, yeah.
Especially if you're in a trade like fishing. It doesn't seem dangerous, but if you're in a small skit or however it's called, it's
If you're out on the water,
unreasonable that you die.
Out on the water, small mistake can have large consequences. So that's also why when the old man cuts his hand and things like that, that's actually quite serious. Because if he uses the ability to operate the boat, then basically he's lost.
Mm-hmm. And a small hole in a boat is a disaster.
Mm-hmm.
Would anybody else add something about the boy?
Probably going back into loyalty, because it's like at the beginning of the novella, he repeats a certain cycle, almost like the old man's a little bit senile. It goes like a routine talking about baseball, about things that have, like, I think it was like what they caught previously, but they haven't caught anything previously. It's kind of like he's willing to put up with the old man talking about the same old things every day out of loyalty to him.
You mean that's just a thing between them, or that's a thing between certain people that they have to go along, so to say?
Sorry, I don't understand the question.
Do you think that's just a thing between them, or do you think this applies to other people as well, that they have to maybe have a topic to get them started?
I think it applies to other people because you know, say elderly relatives or something like that, and you talk about the same old thing all the time, but you're just happy just to talk to them so they feel like they're included. Because the old man's situation isn't exactly glamorous, because he's living in a windowless shack, and he hasn't got much food going on, so he's quite he's been like what's the word? He's been cared for by the boy.
Yeah. Which doesn't make much sense, because in theory the old man should have more resources than the boy.
Should do,
he doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, like we said before, he hasn't had any luck with the fishing, so he's probably had very little income.
Mm. Okay. On to the old man.
Yep.
Santiago. There you can see him fishing.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say about him?
I would say he's stubborn, but at the same time, he knows his own strength, and he's just happy just to go along with the flow as it happens. But also, he's very respectful of what goes on in the sea. So kind of has he develops almost like a conversational relationship with the marlin that he's trying to catch. Like he respects him, but respects the marlin, but he's like, I will kill you in the end, and he'll make good use of it.
He doesn't give up easily. That's also shown when he reminisces about his boxing career or his fight career. He was fighting somebody for a long time.
Yeah,
and that.
I think it was arm wrestling, wasn't it?
Yeah, it might be, but it was just a very long battle, and that's the same here with this fish. So he's been battling this fish for at least 3 days, and then at least for a couple of days he tries to get home.
Yeah. Also, it's like that dichotomy of like his age versus how he sees himself. Because during the time where he's fighting the marlin, he dreams about the lions in Africa. like from a distant memory, doesn't think about anything else. It's just the lions. Whilst at the same time, he's trying to focus on this incredibly physical task at hand. So it's very much like that youthful spirit versus the actuality of his age. And at the same time, he's kind of showing his age through the physicality, but also how he's thinking, because he kind of like misses the boy when he's like, I think it's like day 2 of trying to fight the marlin, or thinking about his wife, or even when he had a conversation with this little bird that lands on his boat. Like, he's a little bit lonely.
Do you not think the bit with the lions, that he keeps coming back to? It's like, because he's old, and it's like the kind of peaceful, better, kind of interesting, but like easy kind of days, which are behind him.
Oh yeah,
That's why he keeps looking back on it, because it was, something, a nice, happy, fond memory. Something that, because he's like stuck in this little fishing town. It's something, extraordinary that he witnessed. And it's something to remember.
Yeah, it's like the good old days kind of thing.
Mm. Yeah. And then he keeps flashing back into reality.
Yeah.
So really, it's like reality. He's trying to hang on to these wonderful things, but reality keeps bashing him back down again. As with the fish, he's like, the fish is like a dream.
Yeah.
And then, the dream gets like big chunks bitten out of it.
Mm. Yeah,
Such
it's like
life.
you yeah. She said, like, very much Santiago is very stoic in his nature.
I think you muted yourself so fast.
Yeah, because this goddamn fucking ice cream van would just thank you very much.
It looks like you have to buy or smack somewhere else.
Yeah. Yeah.
Smack bam.
Yeah, just saying, like, Santiago has that stoic nature despite, being constantly beaten down by life, the marlin, and then like that dream being taken apart by the sharks as he takes it in. He doesn't bear any ill will at the end of the book. He just goes to rest and just either live on either another day or such, or just dream of the lines. There's no bitter feelings about it.
Yeah, I think it's also a coping mechanism to think about something else while you're in physical pain.
Mm.
I mean, in the kind of his instance, it's probably a lot of adrenaline, when there's a shark, there's a shark coming.
No, I mean, when for the 3 days he holds on to the fish. If your mind is not focused on the pain, and if you breathe in a certain pattern, it doesn't hurt that much. And if you don't think at it, or you think at something else, it doesn't. You're not aware of the pain.
Yeah, it's like when he braces himself against the boat and he has to swap his hands, and he holds on to the line for so long his left hand clamps up like with cramp, and then he talks about how he's slowly trying to get movement back into his hand, like pushing it against the boat, flexing it, putting it in the sunlight, whilst at the same time dealing with the fact that this marlin sometimes randomly pulls the line, forcing him to focus about what he's doing.
Yeah, I also like he's in a kind of thing, he's slagging off his own left hand, and
yeah, but it's not only that he can just hold on; he has to be aware of the fact that the line can snap at any moment.
He has to keep the perfect amount of tension.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like all these circumstances are pulling against him, but he still hangs on through sheer force of will.
Yeah.
It shows that he is skilled, but he's not lucky. He knows what to do. He knows how to catch a fish. He knows the sea. He knows the consequences. He knows what happens when sharks come. He's not surprised by anything as much, except for the size of the fish. But he's just with anything you undertake, you also have to be lucky enough that things happen. So, and that's a bit of a tragedy here, that this old man has not achieved much, and that's not because he was not skilled at what he does. He was just unlucky.
But wasn't he a little bit underprepared at a few points? He in his dialogue to himself, he says, "I missed that," or "I could have needed this," or "I could have used a young boy."
That is true, but you always have that when you do something. Oh, it would have been nice if I had this at this moment. So you can't perfectly prepare for anything. I mean, his mistake would have been that he chased the fish too long. He should have said after like one day, okay, if I keep doing this, then I'll risk too much, risk my own life. But probably because he was so old, he could take comfort in the fact that he could die at sea, and that would be his fate. So that's also, if it was a young man, then he might have cut his losses, because he might have a family and a reason to go back.
Do you think so? Do you think it's not just a man thing? For example, if you're in a to paint the picture, if you're in a hunt, you just want to hunt it, no matter what. And the same here, he just wants to get the fish and don't cut his losses or something like that.
He wants to get the fish because he didn't get one for a long time, so that's true. But a younger man might also have given up fishing after 40 days, saying, "Well, I'm unlucky. I'll try something else." So he's stubborn in the fact that he keeps trying, and he's stubborn in the fact that he doesn't give up.
Okay. Anything else about Santiago?
He's apparently from the Caroni Islands, from Tenerife, or based on somebody who's from that region.
Mm-hmm.
Who then moved to Cuba when Hemingway is living there.
Yeah. That might be a detour, but weren't the indigenous population of the Canary Islands fair-haired and blue-eyed? I remember something about that before the Spaniards came.
You mean that the Vikings were there before them?
No, not Vikings. Vikings were red-headed. Or part of them.
It's possible, because if you have a lot of people on the sea, they might end settling somewhere else. So it's not uncommon in coastal areas. But if you look to the northwest of France, they're also blonde and blue-eyed. So.
Okay. Good. So the next slide. The fish. The fish is just his arch nemesis, or is he just a object of desire, or what is he in this short little novella?
I would say it's like that potential just to show that he still has something to give. So despite the enormity of the task, he keeps focus on it regardless of what's going to happen. So despite all the hardships that he's going to go through, he doesn't want to just simply give up. He will, like, this one last hurrah to get this large fish, and at the same time respect it enough and its strength.
And it's also pound signs. He talks a lot about its worth, doesn't it?
It's like 17 foot long.
Monetary value.
Yeah, it's like longer than his skiff. So.
Well, if he would bring this fish back completely, that would be a very nice catch, right? So that would bring him like respect with his fellow fishermen, something that he has lost.
Yeah, it seems like it's a very close net community, but it's he's the not the butt, but he's not thought of greatly in terms of his abilities.
Yeah, it's like with also with the marlin, it's just like somewhere in the book. Hold on, I think I've got it here. Yes, forgive me for a moment. At first, he laments the fact that this fish has taken him for so long, but then he starts to humanize the fish, saying, "I'm wondering how old it is, what sort of a life it's lived." So he kind of wants to emphasize with it, despite the fact that he wants to kill it in the end. It's kind of an interesting, thought process that he goes through as he's fighting this fish.
Well, he sees him as his brother, and as he sees the struggle of his fish as his own struggle.
Yeah.
And he actually says, "Well, it is that I have to catch you because otherwise I wouldn't." So he really emphasizes with him.
Yeah.
Empathizes, actually.
I just looked it up, and apparently, marlin can bring up to 30k or 30,000
Damn.
US dollars if you get a really big one.
Yeah, and I found the line in the book. He says like, despite all this, I'll kill him though in all his greatness and his glory. And then immediately into the next page, he starts talking about how he'll say a few Hail Marys and all that stuff. He like some sort of short little fling about Christianity and religion as he's dealing with fighting this marlin.
Yeah, I'll do whatever you want. Just let me catch this fish.
I was mistaken. It's 30,000 per pound. So yeah, that's the amount.
I don't know what it is in like pre-Desert War money.
That's a half a kilo.
350, I think.
Yeah, something about that. So that's quite a bit of money for a small fish or a big fish in that matter. You?
Yeah.
Do any of you enjoy fishing?
I've never probably been fishing.
No, I don't have the patience for it. But my cousins are fishermen.
Okay. What about you, Quackhouse?
No fishing for me.
No fish.
I've had a go at it a couple of times when I was younger, but no. Certainly not hobby level.
As a small child, I tried always to catch a fish, but I never did, and I tried to catch that up for several years, and I never catch one. And at one point, I just didn't go anymore. I never catch anything. So yeah.
I think I always caught something every time I went. I probably went 3 or 4 times. We always caught something.
Okay.
But no, it just never appealed. Too slow. It's too slow. Yeah, I feel like the fish is a good metaphor for life. You know,
how so?
Spend all your life chasing it and catching it and tying it to your boat, and then everybody comes and takes chunks out of it until you're left with a scrawny carcass.
But then at the same time, it's like you took the opportunity, and despite the end result wasn't what you had expected, you still took that risk, and you can look back on it and said, "Well, I did catch it in the end, regardless of the outcome. There'll be no regrets."
So what you're saying, Sharks, is that the sharks are a metaphor for the Internal Revenue Service?
Yeah,
goddamn fucking tax man.
Government, society, you name it.
All those leeches, all those parasites.
Or sharks.
Same.
Dead-eyed,
bureaucrats.
Yeah, with the dead eyes and the thirst with blood.
Maybe the sharks are a metaphor for the CIA.
CIA no, just general.
No, the CIA doesn't really care about tax. That's a different agency.
So onto the sea. At a few points, it's also mentioned for the fish that the fishes the fish is called female or have female names, but in English, everything starts with V, so that doesn't really come through. For example, in German, it would be der Fisch und diese, der Fisch being male and diese being female, also der See being female.
I don't know a lot of German, but as far as I know, See means lake in German.
Yeah, that's the other thing that sea technically means say yes, but
So
we have
I think the term is meer.
yeah it's me, but sea is
What's the gender of
say
that?
like das Meer is how you call it nothing. It's like die Schnecke, so like
It's neutral.
it's it's neutral.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
so
Yes. Sorry, what?
No, it's not neutral in Dutch, but then again we say zee instead of. So somehow German has that swapped around. I don't know why. Probably because they don't have a lot of beaches. But
in regard to the sea, I could notice like Santiago, the old man, refers to the sea as La Mar, which is like in Spanish is like what people call it in Spanish when they love her or something like that. And then so like he said, then goes some of the younger fishermen who have a more modern equipment such as floats and motorboats would call it La Mar. So it's like the more masculine spoke, and he says here they spoke of her as a contestant or a place or even an enemy. So it's kind of that interesting perspective of how they view the ocean.
Something to be beaten.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, but the old man always thought of her as feminine, something that gave and withheld great favors and did wild and wicked things because she could not help them.
Crazy chick.
Yeah, the book also gave a little bit vibe off as I'm sorry for using that word, but it's like a mixture of Jaws and Moby Dick, maybe.
A mixture of what and Moby Dick?
Jaws and Moby Dick, the movie Jaw.
Yeah.
I don't really know what to compare it to via other like modern media. It's kind of a interesting little book, but I can see like the similarities with what Moby Dick and Jaws you say.
Maybe the common denominator is just the sea.
I was thinking Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
How so?
Please do tell.
A guy coming to the end of his useful life, career or whatever, having trying to have one last go at it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then he holds a stint in Italy, and then he meets a serial killer.
Yeah.
In which case, you could just compare it to Rocky Balboa then.
Why not?
Why not? It's just like old man fights younger world champion.
That's Rocky 6, right?
Yeah, it's Rocky 6. Yeah, Rocky Balboa.
I don't think I've seen.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Well, no, I haven't seen it.
Regarding, yeah, go ahead.
I would say it's with Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah. Regarding my mess up, because die Hochsee, what I got mixed up, or and das Meer. The problem is in German you use die Hochsee, meaning literally the high sea, and this something akin to deep sea in English. So that's not even making sense. So yeah, das Meer, die Hochsee.
I just think that Germany is maritime confused.
Yeah.
And that's how we got on a 50-minute tangent about the Bismarck.
Yeah. Which Bismarck, the ship or the chancellor?
Let's start with the chancellor.
No, that's true. That Germany never developed anything sea-like.
Well, they didn't have any overseas colonies to begin with, so.
Yeah, they had Tanzania.
Yeah.
But
not bad for a start.
Yeah, but I guess it also doesn't help if you have the British naval forces right up close to your border, or it's not that close, but still the English, the eternal Anglo would be somewhere there around.
Mm-hmm.
So I was joking about the tension, by the way.
Okay,
Sounds like cool.
Would anybody add something about the sea, or?
It's wet. Next subject.
Wet. Yeah, why you don't like to go to the beach is sandy. Okay, no shit, Sherlock.
I hate sand. It's coarse and gets everywhere.
Oh, you don't like sand between your ass cheeks? Ah, aren't you a man of culture, Bishop?
I'll keep on quoting Star Wars until you get it.
Oh, it actually got quite popular, like near the 2000s.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also wonder who the time traveler is in 18 something.
Yeah,
Who Googled his name.
Yeah, what the?
yeah, that's weird because here, and I think I limited to the 1800s. But if you go back, there's always this little humps. So there has almost I think about every 100 years or 50 years about so somebody important called Ernest Hemingway was mentioned or something.
Yeah, so some time traveler goes like, oh, and then arrives and types something, and shit,
Yeah.
time period.
Wrong time period again. But yeah, because with Google Namegram you cannot search for Hemingway for some reason. Or sorry, not Ernest Hemingway, The Old Man and the Sea.
Sounds suspicious.
But here you go. You see the Google Namegram view of Ernst Hemingway with the publishing date of The Old Man in the Sea, 1952, and it peaked, as somebody mentioned beforehand, about in the late 90s, around
Yeah,
that.
like-
Yeah,
I wonder why it peaked in the late 90s.
good question.
I think there was a movie.
They made it to a movie?
Yeah, the Old Man in the Sea. There's, I think, 2 movies, but I haven't mentioned. Seen
And a
it.
TV series.
Okay.
Didn't know that.
It was also Saddam Hussein's favorite book.
What?
My favorite
What?
book is also Saddam Hussein's favorite book. Oh, that's a good thing. That's incredible. What a way to just drop that in is like great.
Is that true?
Well, it's on Wikipedia, so it has to be true. Go ask Saddam himself.
I'm fucking Googling this now. Old Man and the Sea.
Dun, dun, dun.
And is it true?
It's true, and apparently it's the book he kept reading before he died. Apparently he tried to emulate the old man. All right.
Okay.
Thank you, Irish Times. That was very...
While he was lying down in his hole underground.
And what was the carcass that he brought with him? MWDs.
It was a good hole.
America with the sharks.
But the sharks got him.
Nibbling at his lifetime works.
Yeah. Wasn't that, ladies and gentlemen, we got him? Was that him? Or mixing?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
It's weird. It's weird how sometimes you're just allowed to hurt certain persons.
Yeah, I wonder who we're allowed to hate next month.
Yeah.
Haven't you got your update yet? Haven't you?
I hope it's the fucking Canadians. I fucking hate them. I'm just sick of their shit now.
We talk 2024. We will go to war with the Canadians. We will unite.
Oh fuck yeah!
I was hoping it might be Prince Charles.
Ladies and gentlemen, the word in the English language of 2021 is Canadian concentration camps.
Oh my! Oh no, they will call it something gay, like I don't know, re-education camp.
Oh wait! This just came in. We're demonetized.
Could it mean something else though? In this case, could we not make it mean like a concentration of Canadians in a camp?
That would be a good description of what is happening. Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
But what is it? What is a Canadian? Are you a Canadiologist?
Yeah,
Can you
flappy
define a Canadian?
Oh, we're not going to.
they have flappy heads.
Look.
Could you imagine another fucking useless degree? I am a Canadianologist. I have a PhD.
Barely a country.
Now listen, buddy.
I'm not your buddy,
Yeah,
pal.
buddy.
I'm not your pal, friend.
Oh, snap.
Anyway,
Okay. We've talked. You mentioned it was your favorite book also.
Yes. God fucking damn it! Fuck off, you cunts!
Thanks.
Oh, nice.
just mute yourself and get your smack.
Yeah, just do it already.
Christ alive, yes, it's my favourite book. I've read it 4 times. Oh my fucking...
Get double glazing or something. I don't know. Shut the window.
We're doing shut. It's so goddamn fucking loud.
Damn, son. How much is one ball of ice cream? 1 scoop? How much is it?
I don't know. Let me ask him after I shout out the fucking window.
Chase him down.
I'm not going to chase him down. I'm in the middle of the book club.
I think that one ball is 25 quid or something.
The what?
One ball of smack is 25 quid or something.
Do they sell it in balls? Is that how it works?
I think so. I don't know. I'm not an expert. I'm not from the UK.
Smack. No, I mean, I think Scotland's probably a better place to go for smack.
Yeah, Your Majesty is definitely my favourite book, and it was one of those books. And also randomly off topic, when I was at college, the library had The Old Man and the Sea. I decided to read it, but then also in the other aisle, it was all the political history, and they had a translated copy of Mein Kampf, so I read that as well. No, I'm not joking. I read it, and I realised that they edited it more than I thought. Because randomly, in random bits, stuff just does not make sense. They translated it very fucking weird. 1 minute he's talking about how dutiful his father was, and then in the next he was talking about his economic policies within jumping in one fucking paragraph.
Isn't that just because he's a socialist?
Probably.
National Socialist, that means all the different, don't you know?
I don't care what brand of socialism it is.
Yeah. It still fucking sucks.
It can be socialist, fascist socialism. It can be...
Hitler is the reason why cousins shouldn't fuck. I mean, just...
Global socialism. Don't really care. It's all socialism.
Back in my day, we had quality tensions. Next slide, please.
Okay. We will just go through. I think it's the second last. Yeah. Okay. Bishop, do you like the book or?
Yeah, it's a lovely book. It very well describes that phase of life, and where you have one last hooray before you give your final bow.
That's a question for everybody. How did they find the language used in the book? Because Hemingway is noted for being use of rather simple, short language in his storytelling. He had a hatred for long, complex words, and he just prefer short sentences compared to quite long ones. Any view on that?
I think it could be best described as super extra fabulous.
As a non-English speaker here, or Bishop is one as well, but it's all well done by him. So, yeah. No, I liked it. It's good written.
Yeah, I like that kind of story. It appeals to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
10 out of 10 would read again.
You did 4 times, and Mein Kampf.
And it's suitably short, which makes it even better.
Considering all the long books we've recently read.
So next time on Magnum Opi, a book by a German.
Yeah.
Unless there's an accident, of course, and reading something else.
Yeah. I mean, I'm no longer responsible after this one, so I guess you can do whatever you want. So,
I certainly will. Who knows what we'll be doing? We might just be reviewing Southland Tales.
Southland Tales. Oh God. Why?
I have no idea what that is, and I won't mind.
It's James's favorite. James's favorite film, and it.
I sent it to iTunes, and he obviously hasn't watched it.
It's an experience.
You haven't sent me none.
I sent you a film. Or was it Lizard I sent the film to? I sent a film to someone.
Okay, I guess. Do you have any closing remarks about this?
Or was it Bishop? I don't know.
Pretty sure it was.
Not I.
I sent it to someone. Who knows? Some random person got it.
I mean, I will have a look.
Sent it to.
No, you haven't sent me. You have sent me just an or I have sent you a list.
Calling me a liar, boy.
What time is it?
Tell me,
Just to literally like summarize it up, it's like I would say it's exemplary work of Ernest Hemingway, considering his other books like For Whom the Bells Toll and such. I think this one shows how well he can tell a story with rather than going into expansive novels that he normally does.
Mm. Have you read more from Hemingway?
I read For Whom the Bells Toll, and it was a good book, but at the same time, I preferred The Old Man and the Sea. I'm going to try and read A Farewell to Arms, because apparently that one's really good as well.
Yeah. Okay. Good. I think we have wrapped it up so far. Crackhouse, you would like to mention something?
No, it's a good book. Go read it.
Freelance. Bishop.
It's a good book, so read it. It's also not too long, which is nice. It's not a doorstop like the other books we've read.
And just don't let the sharks get you down.
Indeed. I liked it as well, and I guess they won't be reading Faust next time, so I tried to bring some German culture onto the islands, but I've miserable failed. Yeah. So yeah, have a good one.
I've just come to the conclusion that Europeans are just miserable, joyless bastards.
You're talking about the Russians.
Yeah, no, you're all the same. Everything.
No, we're not. God damn it! Are the Welsh and the Scottish and the Irish the same? They're fucking not. Why would they?
No, because everybody hates the English, which just makes us stand out.
Yeah, see, that's the continent as well. Everybody hates the German, but as well the French. No, first the French.
There's a good reason everybody hates the Germans.
There's a good reason everybody hates the French.
Indeed.
On principle.
Yes, and the problem is you're landlocked with those bastards.
Yeah, I know, but we can just beast them if we need to. It's fine.
It's not exactly like they literally can't agree on anything anyway.
Again, for some reason, they're all socialists, and I don't really understand it.
At this point,
Terrible, over-index gingers.
And
go on, tell us how you really feel.
I would like to thank everybody for joining us on the stream. Next week on 15 minutes of Ginger Hate, we'll have Quackhouse just ranting for 15 minutes straight on.
I could do way
Good
more
night,
than
everybody.
15 minutes.
He could have a whole list of slurs ready for gingers.
I've learned some very interesting facts.
Drop one fact.
Okay, one fact, then we'll be out.
Apparently, they have overly sensitive penises.